Do I like being a travel nurse? When I did it, absolutely I did. Like I said, it gave me a lot of flexibility. I feel like I could take a lot of vacations. I got paid very well, and I gained a lot of experience and got to meet a lot of new people. Hi everybody, this is Sydney Monica. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel. If this is your first time to this page, as you may know, I am a board certified adult gerontology nurse practitioner, and on this channel we talk about everything nursing, lifestyle, and finance. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please go ahead and comment, like, and share, and definitely subscribe. So today's video, we're going to be talking about everything travel nursing, what to expect as a travel nurse when you go into the facility. How is it like getting housing, and how is it with transportation and meals, and what are the benefits of travel nurse, and what's the best route when it comes to doing travel nurse. So let's get right into it. Can you be a good travel nurse with 1 to 2 years of experience? Absolutely you can, because I did it. I had 2 years of registered nurse experience, and then I went into travel nursing, and I know people that had about a year and they did well. So if it's a great facility and there's people that's willing to help and teach you, you can definitely do it and be successful at it. As a travel nurse, when you enter a facility, they usually give like a week of orientation where they show you around the hospital. They have a week where they train on the computer system. If you're not familiar with it, they have a whole day where all of the administrative people that work in the facility comes and speaks and talks about the hospital policies and the rules of the hospital and everything that you should know as an employee there. And then you get 1 to 2 day training on the actual floor. So that's what the 5 days really consist of, but it could be different at many different facilities. So once you're on the floor, you get 1 to 2 days training. You're pretty much on your own, and as a travel nurse, you're expected to pretty much handle yourself. You're always gonna have help. There's other nurses that there to help you, of course, but they would expect for you to already have any nursing skills down pat. They're not gonna teach you nursing skills. They might teach you how to like navigate through the computer. They might show you around the floor, around the facility, you know, how to use the call system, how to contact the doctors, because it's different at every hospital. These things, they will definitely guide you through them. But as far as like nursing skill sets and training you as a nurse, they're not going to do that. They're going to expect that you already have all that experience coming in as a travel nurse, which is why they only give you 1 to 2 days of training. Don't let the stories that you hear make you nervous, how, you know, they treat travel nurses horribly. They usually love travel nurses at most facilities because they are in so much need of help. And when you come there, it's like you're saving them. You're helping the nurses, you know, with their ratios. You're picking up extra shifts, so that really helps them. As far as like when it comes to navigating when you are in a different area away from home, like housing and transportation, what I've done is I've always taken assignments that were driving distance away from my home. And when I say that, maybe like 1 to 2 hours away, or very close to my home. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to have that ability to go back home after I work my 3 shifts, or if I decided to do 7 on 7 off, I can have the ability to go home at the end of the week. And also it also helped me save on the stipend that I do receive for housing and transportation, because some of the times I would do the commute 1.5 to 2 hours to go back home every night, or I just have to worry about getting a hotel for 3 days, and the rest of the week I drive back home and I repeat the same thing every week. So I'm not in a place where I'm so far from home where I have to pay for hotel even on my days off. And then like transportation, I use my own vehicle. If I'm somewhere out of state, I have to rely on public transportation, or Uber, or renting a car, which can be very expensive. So I recommend, if you're new to travel nursing, it's great to take an assignment that's close to home, that you're able to drive there, or an assignment where you may have family that lives in the area, so that can offset your costs when it comes to transportation and housing. And as far as like the housing, like I said, I always was able to drive back home when I take my assignments, but I did have some managers that knew people that offered housing to travel nurses. So this is a manager of the whole facility, so they can be trusted to help you find like housing areas. And I know there's also a website that specifically hosts travel nurses, so you literally go on there, you put your location, and they will tell you where there's housing for travel nurses. Or the last option, if you don't feel comfortable with any of those things, you can always get a hotel or a cheap one. You just got to make sure like you do your research and you know the area as well, and you ask around when you get to the facility. These people, they live there, so they'll let you know what's good area, what's a bad area. And even too, when it comes to the meals, of course, if you're working day shift, it's good that you'll have access to like breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner at the hospital. But if you're working night shift like I usually do, a lot of the cafeterias do not open, so it's like I have to either Uber eat or make food at home and bring it with me. So working night shift can be a little bit more easy, but when it comes to like meals, you're kind of spending more because the cafeteria in the hospital is not usually open. So overall, I would recommend like taking an assignment that's drivable from home, or a place that someone that can definitely help you save on your stipend that you get for housing and meals. As far as like travel pay, the way it works is they break it down into two categories. It's your fixed weekly pay that you get every 36 hours for your shifts, and then they give you one stipend for meals and one stipend for housing. Okay, let me just say this: the lower that your weekly pay is for your 36 hours and the higher that your housing and your stipend for meal is, the better it is for you, because you only get taxed on the weekly hours that you work, 36 hours a week. The housing and the meals is non-taxable, so that's like money that you really don't even make. You don't count it towards your taxes. So that can be beneficial to some people, and to some people it might not be beneficial. I rather have it that way, where I want my meal and my stipend to be higher so that I'm not taxed on that, because the more money you make, the more money you obviously have to pay in taxes. So I'm not a tax person. That's just how they explained it to me, and it made sense. So I would prefer to have that way. So every agency is different, and you would have to speak to your recruiter to break it down to you and explain how they set that up. So pretty much with the housing and the meal, it's like a set number, and you get paid. Most agencies that I've worked with a couple of them, they usually pay weekly. So that's a great benefit of doing travel nursing. You get like a housing and a meal, especially if you're able to go home every night. That's definitely a great benefit, and you get paid weekly, so that's awesome. And the fact that you get to pick the length of your assignments, they can range from 4 weeks to 13 weeks, and you have the opportunity to renew if there is a continued need in the facility. So I definitely love travel nursing because of the flexibility, and I pretty much make my own schedule. I work when I want. It's very flexible, so I love that. And if I don't want to work in one facility, I have the option to work at another facility. So many great benefits to travel nursing. But I also have to mention there's some cons as well. When you're a travel nurse, you get paid well because you don't get a lot of the benefits that a full-time employee would get. And for instance, this could be like really good health insurance, or 401k with your job, or building PTO time. And I know some agencies do have it, but it can be very pricey, and they take it out your check every week. So as a full-time employee, you get some great benefits that you don't get as a travel nurse, because they're essentially paying you all your money up front. All the money that would be used towards your benefits is being paid to you directly, so you really have to take care of that yourself. But if you're a savvy nurse and you're very good with your funds, being a travel nurse can definitely be a great thing for you. A lot of people might be wondering, well, how much do travel nurses make? Well, this varies from agency, and it varies from specialty, and it varies from state. So I cannot really give you an exact number. It varies from, it's a lot of different factors, but you get paid well. I mean, contracts can range anywhere from $1,700 a week to $6,000 a week that I've seen, of course depending on your specialty. I'm med-surg telemetry, and I've seen contracts as high as $3,500 a week, and as low as $2,000 a week. So in that ballpark, of course depending on your state and your experience, it's very great pay. And if you guys are interested in doing travel nurse and you don't know how to navigate that or how to go about it, I do provide one-to-one coaching sessions, and I'm going to link my email down below if you are interested. And if you guys found any of this topic that I discussed today interesting, go ahead and comment, like, and share, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want me to talk about next, and if you want me to talk more in depth about this topic. And I'll see you guys next time.